What's up guys, my name's Tyler and welcome to another edition of the Lawn Review. Today I'm going to share with you my thoughts on the supposed #1 ranked electric pressure washer in the industry. There's a lot of bold claims flying around with this Greenworks 3000 PSI 1.1 GPM electric pressure washer that we're obviously going to put to the TLR test, and some of the results are interesting. So make sure you stick around for that. Let's dive in, check it out. Guys, if you find this video interesting and perhaps informative at all, and maybe slightly entertaining, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It lets YouTube know that this video doesn't suck and that people are interested in this type of content. That would really help us out. Also, if you have any questions at all about this product, you feel like we didn't cover in enough detail, make sure you just throw it in the comment section. I'll hold on to this thing, run outside, and answer your question as quickly as I can. So don't hesitate to throw any questions, any feedback at all in the comment section. We'd really appreciate it. So before we dive into the features of this pressure washer, I'm gonna do a quick unboxing and an initial setup just to let you know what to expect when you get this from Greenworks or wherever you buy your Greenworks tools. I think they're even at Costco. So wherever you buy this, just lets you know what to expect when you get it, what kind of setup you need to be prepared for. Oh, and by the way, we will be giving away this pressure washer. So if you are interested in winning this pressure washer, like throughout the video, you feel like, oh, that's a really cool pressure washer, I'd like that. All you have to do to enter is to subscribe to the Lawn Review and then maybe throw a comment in the section like, I want that. And then if you want to double your chances to win this, you join our email list. And the information on how to join our email list will be in the top pinned comment of this video. So if you want it, you can have it. Right off the bat, we've got a user manual, obviously, and then a little bit of a setup guide, it looks like. There's a bag with a whole bunch of different fittings in it. More fittings. Looks like the wand handle, the wand. Then we got the frame and a big bag. The Uber Flex hose. And then a metal plate to hold the nozzle tips, let you know which nozzle tip is which. And then it looks like a little holder for the wand itself. And then the motor. Man, I'm excited about this. It doesn't look like there's a bunch of setup, which is nice.
Overall, the setup of this tool is really easy. I will highlight that you should put the spray gun holder on the opposite side of the plate. I didn't do that and had to backtrack, but really this took me about 30 minutes to do, and all I needed was a Phillips head screwdriver. Everything else you can do by hand. Super easy setup.
Now that we got through the boring unboxing and assembly of this tool, now let's talk about the cool stuff, the key features to this bad boy.
This electric pressure washer sits atop a heavy-duty steel frame and 10-inch never flat tire. It has a 25-foot steel braided rubber hose, which is supposedly resistant to twists and kinks, and a 35-foot power cord with a waterproof plug and inline GFCI safety features. It's also got a nice low-profile design. I feel like it stores pretty nicely. You can move around with those wheels pretty easily on concrete and grass, and then stores upright, taking up 50% less space than when it's laying horizontal. And there are 5 different nozzle tips that come standard with this tool, ranging from turbo, soap, 40 degrees, 25 degree nozzle tip, and the most powerful 15 degree nozzle tip. And it's also got a 1 gallon soap container that's attached to the unit itself, so you don't have to lug it around or anything like that. And all that is powered by a relatively quiet 14 amp true brushless motor.
And the price of this pressure washer is usually about $450 on Greenworks website, but right now it's about $399 or $400. So you can save $50 if you head on over to Greenworks website right now. I know it's on sale as the time of recording this. And the warranty on this tool is actually pretty sick. It's a 3-year tool warranty, but a 10-year motor warranty. I've never seen a 10-year warranty on any electric tool that I've ever used so far. So that, I mean, they crushed that one, knocked it out of the park. That's pretty awesome. So now that we talked about kind of the ancillary key features of this, now let's talk about what makes a pressure washer, and that's how effectively it cleans the surface. It's really usually measured by 2 different measurements: PSI, or pounds per square inch, and GPM, or gallons per minute. PSI is a measure of the stripping power of a pressure washer. You can think about like how hard the water is hitting a surface and lifting up that matter off of whatever you're pressure washing. And gallons per minute minute is a measure of how much water is flowing through the pressure washer. So you really need a good balance of both. Too much PSI and low gallons per minute just means you're really just like lifting it up and you're not moving it anywhere, and eventually it's just gonna settle right back on that surface. Too high gallons per minute and too low PSI, you're not gonna be able to strip anything up. So a lot of times if you're comparing two different pressure washers, what a lot of people do is create a cleaning unit, or CU, which just multiplies those two different numbers together. So if you're at Home Depot or Lowe's and you're walking down an aisle and you want to know which pressure washer is better, oftentimes you could just multiply those two measures together and that'll be a great indicator on which pressure washer is going to be best. So Greenworks claims that this pressure washer, again powered by that 14 amp brushless motor, puts out 3,000 PSI at 1.1 gallons per minute. And their claim PSI and GPM are backed up by PWMA, or Pressure Washer Manufacturers Association. But is it backed up by TLR? Not yet. We haven't put it through the TLR gauntlet. So let's dive in and check that one out.
So I've added my PSI reading to the end of the hose closest to the handle. I've got the 15-degree nozzle tip on the end. I'm gonna cut on this pressure washer and see what kind of initial reading we get, and then I'll run it for a little bit and see what the PSI kind of stabilizes at. So it's reading just under 2100 PSI. I'm gonna cut it on and see what we get to. Holds at 3,000. Not quite 3,000 PSI, pretty close. It holds at about 2,700 PSI when you have that really tight nozzle tip. The turbo I thought was gonna be higher PSI reading, but I tested it out and it wasn't. It was actually considerably less. So you get the highest PSI reading on that 15-degree nozzle tip. All right, so now let's run this GPM test. I cut a hole in the bottom of this saucer plate because I didn't have a lid on this, but I'm gonna run the GPM test. I'm gonna see how long it takes to fill up this 5-gallon bucket. So I'm gonna call that right at 5. It was about a gallon per minute. It was starting to spill over at the end and it was spinning around. It got out of control. So the gallons per minute is pretty dang close to 1 gallon per minute. All right, so what is the Lawn Review's impression of the Greenworks 3,000 PSI pressure washer? Honestly, really impressed. We've used a lot of different electric pressure washers in our day. Got one hanging up right there. There's another Sunjo SPX 3000 hanging around somewhere. So I've used quite a few electric pressure washers. This is the best electric pressure washer that I've used. I really like that turbo nozzle. It was really cool. It produced less PSI than the 15-degree nozzle tip, but I don't know, it cleaned really effectively. I thought it was really cool. But overall, I was pretty impressed with 2,700 PSI and electric pressure washer. This isn't gonna be a pressure washer that you can use commercial really, unless it were something that you were gonna use like supplementally to clean a sidewalk or siding or something like that. But to power through a driveway, this would take you forever. And it really just honestly doesn't put out enough GPM to be a really effective tool for a driveway or something like that. But something small like a deck, like I used it on, it was fine. So honestly, the pros with this tool are number one, the PSI. I thought it cleaned and stripped the surfaces great. And then the motor itself, there was not a lot of lag. I felt like with the Rockin' Rocker and the Sunjo SPX, there was like a period of time that was like 2 or 3 seconds to where that motor had to get back up to full PSI. It was about a second when I restart. So that was kind of annoying, but the PSI was great for an electric pressure washer. One of the cons would be the gallons per minute. I just really had to stop what I was doing a couple times and push away some of the debris that I had stripped up so that it wouldn't settle back down on that surface. But all in all, this absolutely, for an electric pressure washer, gets the TLR stamp of approval. And if you have any questions about this tool at all, just don't hesitate to throw it in the comment section. I'd love for you to let me know how I can improve these product reviews better in the future, and I'll run outside and answer your question as quickly as I can. Obviously, I'm not going to give this one away, so I'll hold on to it and be able to answer your questions for as long as you want. And we are actually going to be giving a brand new version of this tool away. If you want to win this Greenworks 3,000 PSI pressure washer, just subscribe to the Lawn Review and join our email list. That will be 2 entries. Guys, thanks so much for checking out this video. Until next time, keep cutting. Peace.